Oh, hey Claire. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Roots and Refuge. I left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger in the last video where we had identified we had an issue with one of our cows. I filmed a little bit more that night. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. But I did want to lead with telling you that everything turned out okay. We're about to walk out into this pasture and I'm going to introduce you to our newest calf. Even though Freya here, she actually decided to join the labor party and we ended up having 2 calves in one day. So we had a dairy calf and a beef calf, but not without a complication first that we called the vet, got some advice, and decided to act pretty quickly on. I don't know if it would have turned out fine without our intervention, but I always feel better doing what I know I can. So anyway, here's the footage from the other night.
We're already in part 2?
We're in part 2. It was getting long because I had already shot a lot when I realized. So we have a cow that's got a little bit of a prolapse. We called our vet. They were unconcerned about it, but gave us the advice.
They said monitor it, but they said that they've seen
it's not a severe one. Yeah, it's not like her uterus is hanging out. But they told us to get her. We had to get her in the head gate. She's a beef cow, and we're gonna pack the prolapse tissue with sugar, which actually relieves edema and lowers the swelling significantly because we want the tissue to go back inside.
Jessica didn't want to use the organic sugar.
It's expensive.
Listen, we have standards, and organic
Obviously,
sugar
I would
for
use
prolapse vaginas is where we draw the line.
No, I was just saying use the cheap sugar to put on the backside of the cow, and we'll eat the organic sugar.
That's a good choice.
This will work as well. It's fine. Listen, just trying to stick to the grocery budget, sir.
Hope he has enough sugar for that. I don't know.
I don't think that's enough sugar. Did you see how much that area was? I think you need a bigger container.
What song were you singing earlier?
Pour some sugar on me.
I was like,
Probably not what that's about.
Do you think they had cows? Whoever wrote that song?
It's dark, so bear with us. I am filming by the light of the skid steer. The guys are getting the horses up because I don't know if you've ever spent any time around horses, but if you haven't, they are the nosiest creatures in the world. And so if anything is happening on the farm that they feel like may be interesting, they want to be right in the middle of it. So they're going into their stalls with some food or into the round pen. I don't know. Yeah, they're putting them in the round pen just to get them out of the way. If you did not see the first half of this video, in my last vlog, I was just out here filming, kind of giving some updates on some of our farm animals, and I noticed that my one beef cow, we downsized everything and just kept one beef mama. Her name's Ginger. She was out in the field. I knew she was due any day. We've been watching her. But then I noticed that she wasn't letting off of the arch of her back. And then I got a look at her backside. I mean, this is like from halfway across the pasture. And I could see that there was something hanging from her backside. So this is probably going to be something of a graphic video. If you don't want to learn about farm stuff, if you don't want to know this stuff, you know, come back later. We'll talk about tomato seedlings. But I do want to share this because honestly, this could be extremely valuable information for somebody who's getting in this, into homesteading and keeping animals that hasn't previously. So what we did, we called our vet, we got their input. They were not terribly concerned about this. This is fairly, I'm not going to say like normal, but it is common. And it's not like a massive issue. The baby's still in and had vaginal prolapse, so that means some of her tissue supposed to be inside is hanging outside, and she's trying to push past it. So what we are about to do is corral her into this head gate right here, get it clean, and then we're going to pack it with sugar, which will help the swelling go down. They're corralling her back up here. So with beef cows, you know, I mean, these are not handled cows. We can't just throw a halter on her. We can't just get her to follow a bucket. They're grass-fed cows. She doesn't know what a grain bucket is. So we just got to get her in this gate so we can handle her. Gabe, back up.
Go. Go on.
I'll take this clown over to the barn. He's really just trying to help, but he's not helping. Come on. Oh, hey there, little kitty. Come on, go to bed. What do you say? This is more action than y'all are used to late at night. Got it?
See the shadows?
Yeah, it was scaring her.
That's why she didn't. When I got her in here this last time, we had the lights off and I just walked her in. Once I got her turned and going the right direction.
Bless her heart.
All right, this isn't bad for 2 old men. Not an hour and a half. I think it's pretty good.
Took us longer to put the pin together than it did to catch the cow. Not bad at all.
Yeah. Oh, now the rest of them are coming up.
Of course.
What are you giving her, Wes?
I'm giving her some Banamine,
Banamine, that's painkiller.
painkiller, and help with swelling.
And that'll help the swelling go down. I'm sorry.
She's straining out there. Well,
She doesn't get real full looking because her udder hangs so low.
Yeah,
Hey, my love. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
all the way in.
You got a watch on?
Okay. You don't want to lose it.
Hey, we'd be able to track where she's at with this Apple Watch.
Yeah,
Green.
You'd have to tell Lori. Sorry, Lori.
She'd be like,
I
"Well,
lost
we're gonna
your
slaughter
wedding."
that cow."
Again.
Bocephus.
Awesome.
How fast does that work?
No idea. What do you think, Wes?
I don't know. I've never used sugar.
What did you use before?
We just pushed it back in and sewed them up.
But there's a baby in there.
Well, usually I never had an experience of one doing this before the calf.
I double checked after talking to the vet, and that is a commonly suggested thing is
What,
sugar
sugar?
pack. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
She's got that good hay now. Well, she's got the Banamine, the sugar pack. I mean, I don't know how much the sugar pack will do, but it does look like the swelling has gone down some. If nothing else, we've got it cleaned and sanitized. Boski, what you doing, brother? God, he's huge. He does not like his main squeeze being locked up away from him.
Hope you done what?
He can't lay this down, can he?
I don't think so. We've got T-posts it.
Okay.
Go on.
Bo has breached fences 2 times since we got him. We've had him for going on 3 years now. And he weighs probably, how much does Bo weigh?
A lot.
I'll actually probably have a better grasp of exactly how much Bo weighs when we process our steers, because we'll have a hanging weight on them. And they're significantly smaller than him. He weighs a lot. He's dang near a 1-ton animal. But when we first got him, we thought that we might keep our cows in a separate yard from our bull. So we put him in a different yard, and that's when we learned that's when we learned the lesson about how bulls handle fences that they don't want to be there. He literally just it was literally as if the fence wasn't even there. He just walked and it just laid down in front of him. And then more recently, which is actually how Freya is pregnant, he walked through even with the electric wire, which typically that discourages him. Yeah, we have to make sure the electric wire is on, because if it gets turned off even for a minute and there is a cow in heat anywhere around, you just lay the fence down. He's a great bull though. Very, very sweet. I mean, I don't cuddle, and I am aware, like even with them horsing around here right by me, I would get out of the way if they didn't stop. But as far as bulls go, he's a good one. Are we shaking on this? I don't know if we should shake before the baby's born.
We did what we could do today. You have to shake at the end of the day. You accomplished what was...
So we'll just come check out on her later.
Yeah.
Hey, Gabe. Hey, Ginger. Hey, girl. Did a good job. She does not care for Gabe coming close. Everything's all fine. You did a good job, Mama. Y'all see this sweet little heifer calf? All is well. I'm gonna walk away so Gabe will come with me. Cows don't love predator animals hanging around their babies, even if they don't actually pose much of a threat. We'll go over and I'll catch you guys up in the garden. All right, I just wanted to give her some space. So to give you kind of a succinct recap so that you can have the information, and you know, for some of you, obviously this is just entertaining and it's fun to learn things, but if by chance somebody has cows and they ever deal with this situation, I want to give you kind of clear, concise information that this may help you. So that cow is a red Devon. She's about 7, and this is, I think, this is her 4th calving. She had a heifer. Actually, strangely, cows always had heifers. She's only ever had heifers, and she has always had very easy births. Like, we've never had an issue like this with her before. But basically I had looked out one afternoon, evening, and I saw that her back was arched and she had what was obviously a prolapse. So we sent the pictures to the vet, and they acted like it was really quite common for this to happen. The thing is a lot of prolapses happen whenever a cow or an animal has already given birth, and then the tissue, or even like sometimes the whole uterus, will come out. Obviously that's a big issue, and in those cases, as Wes mentioned, you have to put everything back in and sew it up. And when an animal has prolapse, they have more likelihood to do it in the future. So if you have like a full uterine prolapse, typically the best way to handle that is to cull the animal, because you're going to be putting them through that over and over again. With this being like a minor vaginal prolapse before the calf was born, we're actually not going to cull her. However, if this did become a very repetitive issue, we would have to look at that decision, because it's obviously, it's not really humane to keep putting an animal through something like that. Basically, we did what you guys saw. We treated it with, we gave her Banamine, we did the sugar pack, which was just, we packed sugar all over. We poured it on, kind of put it all in and around all of the exposed tissue. And what sugar does is it actually helps relieve the edema and brings the swelling down. That coupled with the Banamine. And of course we did the iodine wash, which was to sterilize it and keep contaminant. So this is where, this was new for me, and I chose to trust my vet. They were right, but I have always been under the impression that any prey animal that's birth is not moving very quickly means it needs a lot of intervention. However, I have learned just through this instance that that's not always the case with beef cows, and it would have been different had she been pushing really actively, if any part of the calf had been presenting, meaning any part of the calf had been coming out. But she was in very early labor when this prolapse happened. So by the time we put her in that pen, she wasn't contracting, she wasn't pushing. And so there was no reason for us to begin reaching into her body, because then at that point we are risking introducing more infection. So we did the sugar pack of the Banamine. The next morning, the swelling had gone down significantly, but it wasn't all the way back in or anything. But she also was not actively pushing. So we decided to just give her time. That was the vet's advice. I actually left early that morning for a girls' weekend I'd had planned for the last few months. And naturally, on my farm at Roots and Refuge, the births just happen when I'm gone. That is just the track record. I have caught maybe 10% of the births on my farm in the last 6 years. That day, Freya had her healthy bull calf, which we had been waiting on, and that evening Ginger ended up having her calf, and Maya was actually heading back out to treat it again. He was going to do the exact same thing. Banamine, iodine, sugar pack, just to help make sure we're maintaining the swelling on that prolapse, so that when active labor really kicked in, she wouldn't be hindered by it. But when he got out here, there was calf on the ground and the prolapse was completely gone. That's kind of like, I guess, best case scenario for a problematic situation. Obviously, it could have gone a lot worse. Considering everything went back without our intervention, without further intervention needing stitches or anything like that, we're not doing anything. And as I said, we've discussed it and we talked to the vet, and I think we will keep her and allow her to be bred another time, later in the right amount of time, and see kind of where she's at then before we make any decisions moving forward. But yeah, we got a healthy heifer calf and a healthy bull calf all in the same day, which is definitely good news. We learned something new. I appreciate the fact that our vet is willing to give us advice over the phone instead of quickly coming out for every single thing, because obviously that saves us a lot of money. And a lot of times when we do quickly call the vet on things, because we're first generation homesteaders, farmers, we didn't grow up doing this. Thankfully, we have friends like our friend Wes that lives, a handful of minutes away from here that will come over and lend their experience to us. But in these situations, we're very much students, and man, it's so nice to learn lessons without it being incredibly costly in all the ways that they can be incredibly costly. I mean, I think as long as we're continuing to do our best and take responsibility for what it is we're stewarding, then we're on the right track. But it is a relief when all is well. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me today, the other day, for all of your thoughts. Excited to celebrate this warm winter day and what feels like the southern spring, because we have new life on the farm. Thank you, and bless you. Until next time.